What's good, YouTube? This is Dion Small from Small's Monocle Arts. And I want to give some insight and a little advice on anyone starting their MMA journey as I have, as I will be, as I am training as of now, and I am making plans to go back in the octagon as soon as possible. Like I said, everyone knows my fight track record with um, 3-0 in boxing, amateur boxing bouts. My street fight record, 4-1. Um, but I do plan on beginning my MMA octagon career. But I have a little advice for anyone on that journey as well as me. What you want to do, right? And I see this mistake a lot of people, especially in this Brazilian jiu-jitsu, aka blowjob jiu-jitsu. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding, BJJ community. Don't get your panties in a bunch. But in the BJJ community that we live in today, where everyone's fixated on BJJ, like BJJ hasn't been around. Jiu-jitsu was started in Japan. Jiu-jitsu's been around since the 19 well fuck that's the 1500s since Japan has been around. Like I said, jiu-jitsu was started in Japan. Grappling's been around since the dawn of time. The Egyptians, you know the fucking Sumerians, which in real grappling is wrestling. But a lot of people make the mistake. They're like, oh, I'm just gonna practice grappling in Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. Then I'm gonna jump in the octagon. Um, and they got this misconception in their head where they're like, oh, I'm gonna get in the octagon and then I'm gonna go for a takedown and I'm gonna take the guy down and submit him. Put him in a rear naked choke, or an armbar, and then I'm gonna make him submit. It's like, no, that's not always gonna work. And one, not everyone's a black belt in fucking jujitsu. Like, let's get that straight, right? In a street fight, if you're a black belt in jujitsu, if you take on the average Joe, yes, you can get away with going down for the takedown and, putting someone in an armbar or a rear naked choke. But if you're fighting another gladiator in the octagon who's got superior striking, he's got strength, he's got takedown defense, you're not going to be able to do that. You know what I mean? And even if you are black belt in jiu-jitsu or whatever, you're going to have a hard time if the guy has is got his strength and his stand up, his takedown defense down pat. You got great if you have great takedown defense and you're a good striker, you're gonna have some problems. That strategy, oh well, I'll immediately go in for the takedown, take the guy out and submit him. That's not gonna go to plan. See, that was the problem with UFC 1, is that, and I love the Gracies, no disrespect to the Gracies, but they weren't fighting anyone. They were fighting frauds. They were fighting Kempo, Taekwondo, boxers who they practiced bullshit techniques, and they had no grappling and they had no takedown defense. Ken Shamrock was the only one with takedown defense in any grappling his background. You know, so that's why I'm saying I say that to say this. When you're first starting off, you want to focus on your striking and your takedown defense. Then you want to move to grappling, you know. But you want to perfect the first two first, you know. Because all fights start while you're standing up, right? You know. And because, like I said, 98.9% of the time, you don't get submitted standing up. Like some people we know. Some people we know who claim that they're a martial arts MMA expert, but then they get guillotined standing up. We're not going to name names, but we know who that is. But they want to give you MMA martial arts advice. Oh, man. But like I said, guys, if you're beginning your MMA journey as I am, you want to perfect your striking, and you want to perfect your takedown defense. You know, um, then you want to move gradually down to your ground game. Because like I said, not everyone's a black belt in jiu-jitsu. You know, a lot of times you don't need to be a black belt in jiu-jitsu, but you gotta have some. You gotta have some form of grappling background. You know. Wrestling, that I have taken is perfect, you know. So that's my advice to any upcoming MMA fighter as myself. Perfect your striking and your takedown defense, then gradually move down to ground game. Smalls Martin Kunards. All these frauds out here trying to give